Antique houses, one of the most haunted places on Earth. I know how lame this statement might sound to some of you, if not all, but what did you expect from a guy like me? Nothing more than some lame statements. But hear me out, this statement might just be as true as described. After all, I'm not a random guy on the street holding a cardboard sign saying the world is going to end at a certain date. Maybe I do that covered up though. Antique houses, from the name itself, hold very old and vintage items, and God knows where these things have been or what they went through before being sold at auction. The next video is taken from security camera footage uploaded by a user who calls himself RWB. I feel like I heard that name before. Anyways, the video has spread fear inside the hearts of many workers who patrol there, especially the sales staff members for some reason. The odd thing about the video, the entire video is intended to be both odd and scary. What took place during the video was that a baby carriage was moving on its own, little by little, on drafts. The movement wasn't even subtle. That thing was going through the whole space. But let's say that didn't do it for you yet. The odd light flickering that suddenly began in the hallway behind the door suggests that a paranormal energy is taking over. I would be surprised if anyone who works there and saw the footage was surprised, because you're bringing every vintage item you can land your hands on. What are you expecting? When someone tells me a story about how bad their boss is in their company and how they mistreat them, I want them to know that there is still so much more space for that boss to expand and enhance. Just know that the next place's ghost haunting is literally tied to the previous owner of the place itself. We have Franco, who is investigating this old abandoned factory. According to him, it was fully abandoned months ago, which is not really that long at all, but it hasn't been in action for quite some time. But why is it haunted is the real question. Locals have said and reported hearing voices from within the building. It's dark and unsettling history tied to the female factory owner who allegedly mistreated her workers to the point where they passed away. According to local legends and stories, she was known for her harsh treatment and relentless drive to keep the factory running at any cost. Workers were reportedly overworked, mistreated, and even passed away within the factory walls. Some accounts suggest that they were buried on the premises, contributing to the factory's haunted reputation. The woman's presence is believed to linger in the building, with sightings of her spirit and unexplained activity tied to her oppressive rule. As Franco was still outside, yet to enter the building itself, he was hearing a lot of sounds. It's like rattling sounds. These sounds were far away, but you can still hear them in the video. He finally decided to enter the building and see if he could find the source of such terrifying noises, but was only met with more. While inside, he experienced some unreasonable, harsh shifts in temperature in different spots. The entrance door was opened on its own at some point, and a shadow figure was captured by the thermal camera. The part that really nailed it for me and was truly freaky was the glass of one of the rooms shaking so vibrantly while everything else was still, with no movement whatsoever.
In front of me, I saw what looked like a light. Unless I'm seeing something. I'm not seeing a light now. It is completely pitch black. Oh, I'm getting noises. Listen. I'm outside. You hear that? I'm outside right now just trying to see if I see any lights. And I'm hearing banging going on. I want to see if I can hear it again. Hear it. I don't know what that is. I could hear somebody yelling. And it sounds like it's coming from up here. I wonder if it's behind the building. I just got a noise. Alright, I'm actually creeping out right now. Oh, what the is that? Who the hell is yelling? It sounds like it's coming from inside. It's like echoing through here. Inside here. Right now I'm sitting at the stage. I have the Ovilus with me, and I'm sitting here and it's completely pitch black on every angle. What was the person that I heard crying? Was that a spirit? Was that something demonic? Were you trying to warn me of something? Can you give me a sign? Or talk to me? I just got a knocking sound. Trying to see if I could see like a rat. Ooh. I just heard the front door open. And it's open. That's the outside window. There's a lot more temperatures on the outside, so you'll be able to see more. Trying to see if I could get any sort of temperature change. What the fuck was that? I just saw something black pass by the door. Okay, that was creepy. Somebody's talking. I sound like giggling or laughing or something. Hear it. What is that? It's literally coming from the glass. The glass is shaking. Oh, this one's locked. There's no way I could even get inside here. I could feel the glass vibrating. Look on the other side.
The part where the glass was shaking really made me question how that was even possible, unless it was done in the editing process. It is so real and unreal at the same time. Unreal because you can't explain it in reality if you encounter it other than paranormal. I was thinking that the next video was about some nosy people driving their car, noticing something odd walking by itself, and recording it out of curiosity. But that didn't turn out to be the case, at least not according to the source. It is said that a couple was driving back in Memphis when, accidentally, they hit something. It's said that they were turning their car to see what was haunted. I mean, what they hit, there was nothing. As they resumed their travel, just moments after they began moving, they saw something odd walking by itself, and since the human sense of curiosity always hits in the wrong moments, they began recording. That thing looked odd in shape, even though you might think it's due to the poor quality of the video, but you can't even make out what it is. You can tell it's an actual being moving, but appearance is just not clear, and it might have even been glowing too. I couldn't tell. That's why you should always pay attention at night more than you do in the daytime, because the odd creatures on highways or lonely roads always appear at that time of the day. Look, we all know that artists can be weird sometimes, and they could go as far as isolating themselves in wild nature just so they can have their own space and peace of mind to create something special. Okay, so we are talking about artists now. That's very interesting. But what kind of artists? Definitely not musicians. I don't even consider them. But we have a man who was going on an investigation deep in the woods when he encountered those artists we just talked about. But we didn't even talk about a specific guy. You were just talking in general. Let's pretend like I did. Anyhow, the investigator was heading to an apartment in that village, which is said to be haunted, plus the fact that there is a guy who has been conducting some weird rituals nearby. Wait there just for a second. What is it, Billy? You're confusing us. Didn't you just say that the investigator was venturing into the deep woods? When did he change his direction? And what happened to our lovely artist? Well, Andrew was actually heading to that apartment, which is located in a village near the forest, and the artist was actually the weirdo who was conducting the rituals. Andrew is the investigator, so don't ask me any more stupid questions, and I have to go see what's happening in my house. I was calling my wife, and she answered the call, but she isn't responding. All I'm hearing is the muted sound of someone saying daddy, and I'm not even married. When Andrew encountered the man, he attacked him. After the fight ended, declaring the winner by knockout, Andrew found that this guy was using Mona Lisa's face to create some dark magic. Now here comes Anton's role as our main investigator. He will conduct some rituals in the house, trying to communicate with the ghost, and he gets some pretty interesting results. From a phantom passing by in the mirror to weird sounds, faucets opening, and lights turning on by themselves.
Короче, вон свет. Сейчас поближе пойду потихонечку. Что там происходит? Куда мужик сидит? Короче, сейчас я вторую камеру поставлю на запись. Включу свет на камерный, как фиганул. И подойду, короче, спрошу, что он там делает.
Мужик! Слышь? Мужик!
Что тут? Ё-моё. Это что такое?
Здесь как будто проводили какой-то ритуал. Вот осталась пентаграмма даже. И какие-то странные камни. Не знаю, что это, камни и земля. Но если проводили ритуал, возможно, что это кладбищенская земля. Пожалуйста, какая-то странная картина здесь лежит. Лицо Мона Лизы вырезали. Именно в квартире в этой. Слушайте. Прям полное ощущение, что в коридоре ходит. Пока ложился поворот. Там вода открылась в раковине. Свет включился. Твою мать. Я точно помню, свет был выключен. Так, все, я окунул ее в массу и святую воду. Поехали. Я освещаю эту квартиру от злых сущностей. Прочь, демон. Оставь эту квартиру. Жесть. Посмотрите, как он выглядит. Стрёмно. Бля. Что это было, блядь? Блядь, очень странные звуки здесь. Вот реально. Сколько я здесь не нахожусь, постоянно вот эта херня. Посмотрите вот сюда, друзья. Как это крипово выглядит. Да блядь. Да что это такое? Кто здесь? Свет. Друзья, вот здесь я сегодня буду спать. Прямо напротив зеркала. Из той комнаты как будто. Кто ты? Друзья, сущность все-таки действительно активна даже сейчас.
Usually, when using others' faces or pictures to create black magic, it involves using some weird elements, like a specific type of bone, strings, cloth sheets, dung, and other nasty stuff. But using Mona Lisa's picture, that was unexpected. I don't know what you think about being hospitalized, but imagine if they take you to a hospital on an emergency and then you realize parts of the hospital are abandoned and left to rot. Let me explain. The woman in the next video works in a hospital. Her name is Maria, and she calls herself the angel that will take the demons out. Now, I'm not so sure what I said lastly about her, but in all reality, she never described herself with a single word. I just tend to say random stuff about people when I get high. Maria has been recording some eerie stuff where she works, but she never knew there were deeper origins behind it. She reported seeing ghostly apparitions of an elderly lady dressed in a nurse uniform from the 80s. Her co-workers also claimed they have once encountered the same creepy apparition. How legitimate? Here come the videos where she is going to prove that she is the best one of them all, that she deserves a promotion for her discovery and bravery. She captured in several pieces of footage some music playing on its own, and at one point the escalator came down to take her even though she didn't order it. Perhaps the one piece of footage that really put her on the line was when she captured a figure peeking so momentarily from behind the corner, but she never noticed it.
No me simpatiza. A mí no me simpatiza. Cuando te mueres de risa. A mí no me simpatiza. Cuando te mueres de risa. No me simpatiza. A mí no me simpatiza. No me simpatiza. A mí no me simpatiza. Cuando te mueres de risa. A mí no me simpatiza. Cuando te mueres de risa. No me simpatiza. A mí no me simpatiza. Cuando te mueres de risa. A mí no me simpatiza. Cuando te... No me simpatiza. No me simpatiza.
She later read the comments and decided to investigate that spot again to see what was behind that corner, but it was a solid wall. She also mentioned the basement being abandoned. That's not to mention that some other rooms are also deserted. What a functional hospital. Imagine if these songs these ghosts played were copyright protected too, and instead of claiming it, they haunt me for uploading them. Sometimes when an investigator insists that he is seeing some shadows or even fully bodied figures, you just ride the wave with him and say, "Yes, I understand." Almost like treating someone with a sensitive psychological condition under a therapy session. So am I calling our investigator in the next video crazy? Not exactly, but usually the sanity level of a human being decreases once he gets deeper in a horror-like situation, and he most likely starts hallucinating and seeing stuff we may not see because it doesn't exist. Ahmad in the next video is coming back to a location he once investigated, though he decided to enter the place from a different entry point, as if that would have helped his case or changed the outcome. But there is a solid reason why he did that. See, you might think he is gullible to do such a waste of time action, but he is not actually, since he assumes there might be homeless people in there who may take notice of his presence and try to scare him off. He is only here to investigate any possible jinn existence. Also, it's better for his safety. Some of these people who reside there might not be very safe. As he entered, he began asking for anyone's presence. This was not a good start if he was trying to not let any possible person in the place know that he was here. Not that long after commanding some responses, He began receiving some in the style of bangs. Ahmad knew where these sounds could possibly come from, so he didn't hesitate going deeper and heading straight up to the source of these sounds, but it began driving him insane, little by little, and the fear was slowly building up inside of him. I wasn't inside his body to know, but at least I sensed it in his behavior and voice. At one point, he was pissed off and scared at the same time because he felt like these jinns were toying with him. He even found an old glider machine where one of its handles began moving on its own suddenly. At one point, when he was out looking at the house, he claimed that he even saw a manifestation of a figure behind the glass door.
في حدا؟ في بشر بالمكان؟ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يلا. هو بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. في شي خبط. لا إله إلا الله. ايش اللي خبط؟ في حدا؟ والله في شي خبط. طلعوا. أحا مين في هون؟ أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. ما في حدا. يما بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تتخيلين الموضوع ولا لا؟ والله الليمون. لا بتمزحوا معي صح؟ أحا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أنا كل ما أجي على جهة مقابل بيجيني بجهة مقابل. أنتوا فاهمين؟ لا إله إلا الله. ولكم في حدا جوا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Hey. في حد ورا القزاز. في حد ورا القزاز. يما.
I don't know if Jinn would usually go as far as toying with someone like this, where it tries to drive the person insane, like always going the opposite direction of him, dragging him to places, and then driving him back to the other spot. But we didn't find a real trace of someone in there. When you work as a manager, pretending that you would become one day a manager at some place. Heck, you can't even be the manager in your own family. How would you be able to manage a whole team of workers? That is scary by itself. But let's finish what I have started. If you work as a manager, you also own the risk of handling a situation if it breaks down where you work. But what if that situation is all on you? I know I may have confused you, but the situation Mark is facing, or the one he has already gone through, is way more confusing than this script I'm reading. The man is obviously a manager at some store, and while he was in the storing room, packing stuff up and arranging packages on the shelf, he got an eerie feeling, a feeling that something isn't right around him. He suspected that something unusual was taking place in his surroundings, and he was right. Some of these boxes weren't where they were supposed to be. It's not one of my corny jokes, I'm being serious. One of these boxes fell out of its place. Not only that Mark was completely alone that night, but the box itself that fell out of its place was perfectly sitting on the shelf, meaning it wasn't on the edge that it would have been possible for it to fall down due to gravity. Some force should have pushed it, but this force was 100% ghostly. And I know I'm saying that with full confidence, even though I myself aren't too much of a nice guy when it comes to these kinds of clips. But what Mark and I discovered later after reviewing the security camera footage is living proof that dark entities such as ghosts do actually exist. Later, Mark had to go on a one-on-one investigation all by himself, only for something to pull him back, something terrifying. The fact that he had long hair just made it easier for these ghosts to grab him.
He's putting things away from the box. All right, now watch. I want you guys to focus on this area right here, okay? Hold on, let me speed this up a bit. All right, watch.
If you have the doctrine right and you stow it on a shelf in your closet and do not pull that doctrine out.
Boom, you see that?
What good does that
I'm gonna
doctrine
get back here for you guys to give you a better view. Look at that. And I'm just like tripping, like what just happened? At first I didn't know what the hell it was, but went to see that there's a box on the ground. I'm like, okay, it's weird. And now I'm going to look, to see what's going on. It fell, okay, but pay attention to this area right here. Watch.
But so what? Are you deaf? That's not what I asked you.
Is that you? Look, I'm here by myself. Nobody's here. It's just me. See that? Come out. I'm not afraid of you. Is that you? I threw down the box earlier? Come on out. You don't scare me. Come on out. Always trying to mess with me. Ooh! No. Hell no. Hell. Let me see. Hold on. Where am I? I'm here. Where am I going? What's it? Look, there I am, right there. Look, you see that? You see that? Nah. Nah. Hell no.
I may risk losing my position as a manager if I were in his place. It's not easy to manage a place full of employees, but it becomes extremely difficult when you also have to manage working with ghosts haunting the venue. Never in your life try to play around the field when you're a married husband. Playing around in that situation will only get you in trouble. You might think that the lady will never find out, but they always do. Some way or another, they find their way to take out the information, and then, depending on the kind of woman she actually is, you will get punished for it. This is not about social life problems, it's about the next video, which is a paranormal investigation. So there is some relationship drama in it based on what I was saying. Not exactly, at least not in the way you may think. The story goes deep within the place the team of Tiago is exploring. He said that he previously visited the place and had some scary encounters, but that happened in the daytime, and since he is all about ghosts, it must be nighttime when conducting such activity. However, I mentioned that the drama involves the place itself, not the team of Tiago. It has to do with the history of this place. People have claimed that it has become haunted after being deserted after that one incident. In the incident where I forgot to turn off the gas canister, there was a leak for hours. Before you knew it, I turned on the light and the whole place was on fire. But that's not the incident I was going to talk about. As I said, it's related to the place in the upcoming footage, where a husband was caught by his wife. Or should I say she found out that he had a kid with another woman during their marriage. He cheated, so what do you think she did to him? She gathered the kids and invited the husband, and then she took him out in front of them. Checkmate. Game over for him. After that, the house was left abandoned, and obviously, the woman faced the law. Tiago and his team began the investigation. He was explaining some stuff on camera before what sounded like a shattered glass sound came from the other room. Throughout the video, there were multiple sounds heard, some like objects breaking, and others like a window behind being pounded on. While communicating with the spirits, they received some responses demanding they leave. They refused, so the spirit dragged them to a trap where it asked them to get near a window and open it. Before they did, they realized there was a legion of bees awaiting them by the window. In the room where the incident allegedly took place, a figure was caught passing by.
Licença? Licença?
Licença.
Eu não sei se é um fantasma de um homem, porque aqui nessa casa... Oh!
Onde veio?
Pai, eu que se dão de feito, não.
Não chora não.
Não chora não, diabo. Um negócio...
Ó, velho. Você viu, fui eu que queria falar a história daqui, cara.
Fica aí. Fica na frente aqui, meu filho.
Tá com medo?
Tá com medo. Eu sei lá, tá vindo isso aí. Pode vir acertar, não vai dar, atacar nós, dois.
Eu peço que os espíritos que estão aqui nessa casa, o que seja que esteja aqui, não nos faça mal.
Eu tô achando esse lugar aqui muito sinistro.
Eu peço que nos dê permissão. E gostaríamos de se comunicar com vocês.
Vocês podem vir aqui, velho. Meu Deus do céu, veio daí da casa. Veio daí da casa.
Cara do céu.
Veio daí de dentro. Dessa parte dos quartos.
Veio aqui, né?
Veio.
Poderia se comunicar comigo?
Vai na frente, vai na frente, Thiago.
Tá com teia de aranha na sua mão, olha aqui.
Tá um monte de coisa. Olha.
Poxa vida, falou. Falou, poxa vida.
Ah, foi o quê?
Falou, puxa vida, puxa vida.
Meu Deus do céu. Por favor,
Você tem que ficar na frente aí, ó.
Falou. Tá na patroa, entende isso?
A patroa. Eu sei qual a sua intenção. Eu não vou abrir. Você quer que eu abra aqui pra essas abelhas entrar, né? Olha o tanto de abelha.
Pega isso.
Olha o tanto de abelha.
Vai, Thiago. Se você abrir aí, ela vai atacar nós, hein? Não mexa nisso, não.
Olha aqui.
Não mexa, não. Nossa, velho.
Aí, toma aí, ó, toma aí.
Olha,
Entrou, gente. Entrou, né?
Olha, Thiago. Se você abrir lá, nós ia se ferrar, mano. Tá aqui, ó. Você
é alérgico, tá? Você é alérgico, tá?
Você viu lá? Ele falou um negócio de diabo pra abrir a janela. Olha o cara que nós ia pegar ali. Nós ia tá sentado, Thiago. Eu não aguento ser coisado pela aqui, não, velho.
Eu vi ele aqui. Ele tá aqui, Henrique. Mano, eu vi ele aqui.
Esse cara não fala nada, mano.
Eu tô falando pra você, eu vi aqui. Eu vi ele aqui.
Eu acredito.
Ele trouxe de novo aqui. Foi aqui que você morreu? Ó. Meu pai,
Veio você.
Gente, não aconteceu uma coisa que eu não vi aqui.
Agora. Vai sofrer aqui.
Isso mesmo, falou. Ai, meu Deus. Por que você tá falando isso? Você quer fazer alguma coisa com a gente?
Claro. Sai daqui. Falou, sai daqui.
Eu não sei pra onde vem, não. Calma aí, velho. Calma aí, não sai assim, não.
Calma, vem aí. Se o negócio tá pedindo pra sair, nós vai ficar aí.
Calma, cara, calma.
Não, mas nós não pode ficar, não, Thaís.
Mas é. Por que não quer que a gente entra?
Am I the only one who thought the shot where the human-like figure was walking by looked like it was done in production? Like using some artificial intelligence or something to create it? Also, why was that other dude more scared than everyone, even the lady? There are always limits to everything. There are limits to how much I should talk before each clip plays, how much humor before people start losing interest, how gullible a costume should be before it becomes ridiculous, and how many figures make an apparition during a haunted place investigation before it starts losing credibility and legitimacy. Which takes me to our next man, if you could even call him that, because based on what he's wearing, it doesn't seem like he cares much whether you call him Andre or Andreana, so he's investigating what used to be a karaoke venue where people go to sing with their ugly voices and feel like they could actually be singers. The place seems to have collapsed, not due to the people's voices when the place was active, but because it has been abandoned, from what it seems, for a bit too long. Andre begins looking at himself in the mirror, showing us his costume that no one wants to see, before sounds begin occurring, sounds echoing through the place, like knocks and objects sliding. So he starts venturing deeper to find what could have caused such noises. And here, he finds the first encounter of the night, a humanoid figure standing with another figure dressed like a clown. And I'm not mocking him, but that's actually how he is dressed. They were both standing creepily next to each other, which obviously drove Andre to run. At some point, Andre found someone with his head covered in a plastic bag and also came upon one with a ghostly apparition, or at least that's how it appeared in the video. One instant that was indeed paranormal-like was when a bottle was lifted off of Andre's hand and came back to where it was right after. Andre wasn't alone in the building, and I mean, yeah, based on what I just said, it seems like there was a legion with him in the building, but what I meant to say is he was investigating with his mate, and once they collabed, one of their buddies was possessed from what it seemed. His eyes turned fully white.
Tatonya banyak begini, ya, semok kayak begini. Pasti menurut kalian nafsu sih guys lihat cewek kayak begini guys? Ya kira-kira kalian nafsu nggak sih? Ada suara gelodak-gelodak? Ada suara gelodak-gelodak? Enggak katanya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ada yang nangis, mau muntah, cuman jijik. Assalamualaikum waalaikumsalam. Sirullah zatullah goib. Gimana apa nih? Sing belakang itu nggak ada kepalanya, tapi yang depan malah foto private. Mek dia semui malah foto private asu. Mek batak mui malah dikira lagi foto private berdua gandeng-gandengan mek dia seu. Malah temennya yang belakang itu nggak pakai kepala kok yo malah melo ay. Kok gede aku. Assalamualaikum waalaikumsalam. Halo. Ada suara. Tuh. Suara apa itu? Kalian dengar gak guys? Ada dengar gak? Siapa ya? Halo? Ada dengar gak sih? Tuh. Siapa? Kamu kenapa? Assalamualaikum waalaikumsalam. Halo. Assalamualaikum waalaikumsalam. Anjing. Itu sejak kapan di situ? Perasaan dari tadi saya ngelihat nggak ada deh. Itu sejak kapan dia berdiri di situ anjing? Hah? Sejak kapan dia? Saya mau keluar, mau muncul gitu. Ada suara ketok-ketok. Ada suara ketok-ketok. Dengar? Ada suara ketok-ketok. Dengar gak? Perasaan tadi di sini ada botol deh. Mau saya buat mainan. Loh. Saya dahil. Perasaan tadi di sini ada botol deh. Ini botol apa ya, Cok? Hush! Ini. Betul? Bodoh amat, itu tanpa kepala lagi, guys. Tanpa kepala lagi, biarin. Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. Nah, ini dia nih. Ini baru permaisuri saya. Nih, tak kasih bunganya. Ini buat kamu nih. Sini, buat kamu. Mau nggak? Ini loh. Buat kamu aja. Modar cocote. Aduh, nabrak sih sana. Terima kasih kalau 1 juta. Loh, tadi kepalanya nggak ada. Sekarang ini ada kepalanya. Mau ditransfer 50 juta pun kalau sama pocong, bodoh amat, Bang. Saya paling anti. Kalau yang lain loh, Bang, tak deketin, Bang. Kalau sosok yang lain tak deketin. Ayo, berani saya. Yang penting jangan pocong aja. Sosok kayak Noni tadi, apa tadi. Kalau saya pas siap, jiwa dan raga saya siap, tak deketin sedekat mungkin.
Ini kalau
Nah iya. Maca.
Wah, Joko, goblok. Tolong. Loh, motornya. Dasok motornya, Yud. Dudu Yuda ki mau. Loh.
Cok, kaget aku, Cok, sumpah, Cok.
Kaget aku, Cok. Wih, motornya putih resik kuwi, Cok. Yuda, Cok. Dudu Yuda iku. Yud. Yuda bukannya kok arep ono to Mbah Kudune? Makanya dia muncul tiba-tiba get-geti wong kok.
Kok ajak guyonan kok? Waduh. Tripodnya nggak bisa dipendekin dah ini. Gak usah tindak ya tripodnya. Ancen dowo ya? Iya. Oh iya. Aduh. Kok sama masak panik. Wis biasa.
Allah Akbar. Aku mulai aidan, Cuk.
When you tell someone, don't overdo it, that's exactly what you would be referring to. Like, do it, but don't make it too obvious. This man right here used all his friends in one video. This next one is not that very interesting of a case, and I was aiming at a different clip from this guy, but I didn't find it for some reason. Maybe I will hunt for it later and feature it. Anyways, the guy we have next is called Unsettles, and he works at a self-service store. Though I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean with self-service, it's not the topic of our interest here. He most likely works as a night guard, or maybe a security guard in general, though he has turned his night shifts more into investigations, where not only does he record what he goes through, but he also streams it live. Yeah, you know the guy is not playing around or staging when he is willing to take the extra step to stream the experience. What he captured was more involving one of the refrigerators, where at one clip he barely walked away from it, which I think he also had open before he heard the sound of it slamming shut behind his back. He got goosebumps, but based on his reaction when he showed us his arm, it felt more like he got his skin burned somehow. In the other video, he was hearing something when trying to find where the sound might be coming from. He was stopped in his tracks when one of the refrigerator's doors opened on its own right on his face, almost as if the ghosts tried to hit him with it.
Pero aquí, que es así bien cabrón. ¡Ay, cabrón! ¡Ay, cabrón! ¡Ay, cabrón! ¡Pinches mamadas! ¡Oh! ¡Pinches puertas de mierda! Me cerraron la puerta, me abrieron la puerta y me la cerraron atrás de mí. No sé cuál de todas fue, pero una de esas pinches puertas me la cerraron, me la abrieron. ¡Ah! Vean mi piel cómo está. Vean mi piel. ¡Ah! Pinches perras mamadas. ¡Ah, su pinche perro! Y ahí fue donde hace rato los dejé, ahí atrásito. Ah, no mamen. Déjeme, voy a la luz nada más que porque siento que cuando voy a la luz se traba. Simón, ya voy para arriba. Déjenme, vamos a checar No, pues vamos a checar ya lo último ya para irnos. Porque sí está bien cabrón. Ay, pendeja la madre. Ah. Ay, pendeja madre. Uy, ahí caca, no mames. ¿Qué pedo con esa pinche puerta? Ay, yo creo que se abrió sola. No mames, sí tiene sello la chingadera. A ver. Sí trae sello. Hay unas puertas que se abren, ejemplo, a ver, estas de acá. Una de estas. Creo que es esta. No, esta también trae sello. Hay unas que no tienen sello y se abren solas. Esas sabemos que se abren solas. Ah, esta, miren, esta no tiene sello y se abre sin pedos.
I think the video I was aiming for was more likely to have been featured on the channel at one point, because when I saw it, I was like, I must have seen this one before. Regardless, you will never know which one I was talking about. So how about I describe it instead of showing it in detail as if you were watching it? That doesn't resonate with you, just like it doesn't resonate with me when you don't subscribe or watch the next video on screen.